All right, Scott Godwin here, scottgodwin.net. Thank you for tuning in. I want to talk to you today about nutrition. I want to talk to you today about a book that I recently published through my publishing company, Roots Publishing, called Eating Better Than Ever. 3.0 Nutrition, Eating Better Than Ever. A simple strategy to change the way you eat for good. The book is available on Amazon.com. Scott Godwin. Eating right is very, very difficult. It is a choice, but it isn't a choice. You're being manipulated. You're like a rat in a cage, okay? You're like a rat in a science experiment. You've got people marketing to you and trying to sell you stuff. And they're trying to take advantage of your instincts, okay? They're trying to take advantage of your instincts. They want to make money off of your obesity, your health problems, okay? Now, I'm not saying they're necessarily sinister. Some may be, actually. But that's the way it is. They want to make money. Profit is their motive. And so we're being sold and we're being marketed to and we're being bombarded with propaganda in more ways than one and in more ways than just eating. But just remember that, okay? This is a big problem. We have a big problem in our culture. We have a big problem with obesity. We have a problem with diabetes. We have a problem with heart disease. 1/3 of the population in the United States is obese. 2/3 are overweight. This is a big problem. And I address this in the book. The first thing I talk about is the cultural problem of poor nutrition. Okay, it is a cultural problem. If it was not a cultural problem, we would not have the highest rates of obesity in the world. And I'm not trying to criticize people who struggle with that. I empathize with those people. I'm very empathetic because I think people oftentimes really don't have a choice in a sense because they're not aware of what's going on. They're not aware that they're rats in a science experiment, okay? So I'm here to help. I'm here to help. I care, and I did this because I want to help my clients. I want to help the people that I speak to. I want to be able to understand nutrition better myself. And so that's why I study it. I have studied it for 20 years. I've read, hundreds of books on definitely health and nutrition, but probably close to probably 20 different books specifically about nutrition and different diets and so on. I lost track of the number. But regardless of the cultural problem of overeating, you can improve. You can improve your situation. Briefly, in this video, I'm going to introduce the book. I'm going to give you an outline of what it's about and why it can be so beneficial to you, okay? The book really goes in at first into what the big problem is and why it's so difficult to change, why it's so difficult to break out of this cultural pattern. The problem is that we need to change. Okay, we need to change. And the problem with change is that change is hard. Change is difficult. But we need to change, and it's difficult to change, and we can change. Okay, we have to start becoming confident in our own abilities to change. But okay, so we know we need to change, and we know it's difficult to change, but the question is, how do we change? The way we change is we have a model. Okay, we have a very simple model. And the model is called the 3.0 Nutrition Model of Change. 3.0 Solutions. You can use the model with nutrition, you can use it with fitness, and you can use it with wellness, with your lifestyle, to change anything. These are the 3 steps. I'm giving it to you for free. It's in the book where I explain it better. But the model is basically, number 1, awareness, number 2, action, and number 3, habits. Okay? Right now, you may love fast food, but it's only a habit. It's only a habit. Remember, when I first started the video, I talked about how you're being manipulated. The way people manipulate you, the way the food companies, the marketers, the propagandists, the way they manipulate you with food and with other things is through salt, sugar, and fat. Okay, salt, sugar, and fat. Just remember that. Why do they do that? Because that urge is very instinctual within you to eat salt, to eat sugar, and to eat fat, because we recognize deep down, our bodies know that we need those things to survive, and there's nothing wrong with those things. We want to limit those things, but there's nothing wrong with them. It's that we eat way too many of them, way too much of those. Okay, salt, sugar, fat. We have a hard time resisting that. So that model of change is awareness, action, habit. Awareness, action, habit. That's the 3.0. And then we have the 5 categories, of eating better than ever. And I go into these in depth in the book. Each category has many habits associated with it. Remember the model of change? Awareness, action, habits. Okay? So we become aware, we start to learn, we start to take a step back, we start to really realize that we need to change and that there's a problem. Then we start to take action. We start to read books, we start to pick up a few tips, we start to try a few things, tinker around with eating better, start trying to fast a little bit, start trying to cook our own meals at home. This is taking action. And then we start to develop habits. But the way I broke the book down and really taught those habits is that I broke it down into categories. Okay, I broke it down into 5 categories: consumption, case studies, insulin resistance, strategies, and the quality of your food. Okay, so number 1, consumption, how much food we're eating. Okay, we know we're eating too much, but why? And where are some of the ways we often go wrong when it comes to consumption? Number 2, case studies. What are some of the ways in which other people have been successful? A great example is the Blue Zones. That's a great health and wellness book that I recommend for everyone to read because it goes into the healthiest places in the world. Okay, so we need to study, okay, what works for people? What works, what doesn't work? Okay, why do certain people have healthy diets and live a long time and have a healthy life, whereas other people don't? Number 3, insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is a cultural problem. Once we start to eat too much and have too much sugar and too much fat in our diets and we gain weight, we become insulin resistant. And the problem with insulin resistance is that more and more insulin has to be produced, and insulin promotes fat storage. Okay? So a lack of physical activity and eating too much causes the production of insulin. That production of insulin causes us to gain weight, or at least it contributes to it. Okay? And then once we do that, we have to eat more in order to feel right. We have to eat more in order to fill up, in order to maintain that extra weight that we've gained. So our hormones become very imbalanced. Strategies. What are some strategies? These are basically the things that you do to eat right on a daily basis, like drinking more water, like using smaller plates, like eating more fiber, like eating slowly. Okay, and there are a lot of those in the book, but just having strategies. And if once you learn these things and you start to do it repeatedly, it becomes a habit. And if you'll remember the model I gave you at the start of this video, I talked about how our model of change in 3.0 nutrition is awareness, action, habit. Becoming aware, starting to take action, and then starting to build the proper habits. So when it comes to strategies, those build the habits that you need. And once you learn those, you can start instilling them into your diet, into your daily routines. And then the last category of eating better than ever is the quality of the food you eat. This one is essential. If you think about it, that should be the most important. That should be the highest priority thing for us when it comes to eating better. We should be looking at the quality of the food we're eating. We should be saying, okay, wait, is this a quality food? Is this giving me vitamins? Is this giving me minerals? Is this giving me healthy fats, complex carbohydrates, lean proteins? Is this giving me the things I need to feel good and to have good nutrition? So the quality of the food. This is a difficult task. It's a difficult task because our culture pushes us to overeat. Our culture pushes us to eat unhealthy. There are a lot of people invested in you eating a very unhealthy diet. It's a big mess, okay? We've got a huge weight loss industry, billions and billions of dollars, but ironically, if you started to eat better and you slowed down and became more aware, their business would go out, okay? So this whole thing, there's a lot of shenanigans going on here. So we need to take a step back. We need to look at the big picture. We need to become more aware of the situation. Okay, we need to start taking action, and then we need to build the right habits. So in the book, again, the categories are case studies, consumption, insulin resistance, strategies, and quality. Okay, those are the 5 categories, essential categories of eating better than ever. In 1967, it took the average worker about 3 minutes to work long enough to buy a Big Mac, and now it takes about 3 hours. Okay, that's a good example of how difficult it is to eat right. Okay, we are bombarded by high calorie, low quality food that stimulates our instincts, our desire to survive. Salt, fat, sugar. Okay, those things are being marketed to us, and that's what we respond to because we're acting too much on instinct, too much on emotions. Well, I feel like eating this, or I have to eat that. We're addicted to these things, and we have to get away from that addiction. Learn about nutrition, start to learn new habits, start to learn about the essential categories of eating better than ever, and use those new skills, that new information that you have to start building new habits. If you have habits, they happen automatically, and you don't have to actually think about habits. They happen automatically. That's what I want you to get to. I want you to get to a point to where habits happen automatically for you, and when you reach that level of success, you won't even have to think about it. You'll automatically drink water. You'll automatically eat a lot of vegetables. You'll automatically choose healthy fats. You'll automatically avoid a lot of sugar. Okay? You'll automatically employ a little bit of fasting to get control of your diet. You'll automatically start to exercise more. And there's 45 other things in the book. This was just a short introductory video. 3.0 Nutrition, Eating Better Than Ever is the name of the book. I'm Scott Godwin. I'm here to help, and I'm here to give you great information. And if you would like for me to come and speak to your group, I'm glad to do so. Please let me know, though, about the success that you see. You're going to see great success by reading the book, by following that strategy. You will see great success. I promise you that. So until the next time, Scott Godwin here, signing off, and I always enjoy being with you. Talk to you soon.